In an image that stunned the world, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was seen walking beneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque, escorted not by military forces, but by archaeologists, engineers, and a select group of rabbis. This wasn't a political stunt, nor a religious tour. It was the clearest signal yet. Something long spoken of, long awaited, and long denied was finally beginning to unfold.
That Netanyahu's actually privately been funding some of the push through the rabbis around this conversation of building a third temple, but he certainly extended. And he said, the Temple Mount is in our hands. Now he said that in that famous statement.
The Temple Mount is in our hands. We are in Jerusalem and we are here to stay.
That was definitely sending a signal that he too is aware of this movement towards the construction of a third temple. In fact, I've been told that privately.
We have to know that Jerusalem is the capital of the state of Israel. If other people want to live here, they're welcome. They could live in Jerusalem, but they have their obligations, what to do, okay? First of all, recognize that things are going to change in the Temple Mount. We're going to have the third temple, okay? Things are going to change. We're going to have the third temple. Okay, things are going to change.
We will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem very soon.
The underground chambers of the Temple Mount, usually hidden from public view, suddenly became the stage of the century. Netanyahu's appearance there was not casual. It was deeply intentional. And it happened quietly in June 2025. No announcement, no media fanfare. But to those watching closely, the message was unmistakable. The groundwork for the third temple has officially begun. And yet, what exactly did Netanyahu see down there? Why are some archaeologists, engineers, and even religious leaders calling this the most significant spiritual shift since 70 AD? Stay with us. Before we continue, kindly remember to subscribe to our channel. We bring you the latest on biblical archaeology, prophetic events, and discoveries hidden in plain sight. Now, let's journey deeper into what's really happening. In the days leading up to Netanyahu's visit under the Al-Aqsa compound, a confidential summit was held in Jerusalem. It wasn't held in the Knesset or any visible political office, but in a sealed room near the Davidson Center, just south of the Temple Mount. In attendance were Israel's chief rabbinate, members of the Temple Institute, top-level Israeli Defense Force advisors, a few international observers from Europe and the US, and notably, key archaeologists. Among them was Dr. Dan Bahat, a former chief archaeologist of Jerusalem, and representatives connected to the legacy of Ron Wyatt, a controversial figure who, decades earlier, had claimed to discover artifacts linked to the First Temple, the Ark of the Covenant, and Mount Sinai. The reason for the meeting? A long-debated archaeological finding had finally been authenticated. A subterranean platform directly beneath the Dome of the Rock that, according to both ancient texts and modern scans, may have been the actual foundation stone of Solomon's Temple. With political tensions high and the religious sensitivity around the mount even higher, Netanyahu reportedly said the words that marked a shift in history. If we wait any longer, we deny history. We're not building over. We're building beneath. As astonishing as it sounds, the first phases of the Third Temple's construction are not taking place above ground. Instead, a network of tunnels, chambers, and support columns, some natural, some newly reinforced, is being utilized beneath the Temple Mount. While this seems unthinkable, given the tensions surrounding the mosque above, Israeli engineers, with the approval of religious authorities and under the protection of military secrecy, have begun reinforcing key underground spaces. According to leaked documents, the Western Wall Foundation and the Temple Institute have already mapped out a series of restoration projects that coincide with the prophetic dimensions found in Ezekiel 40 to 43. Here, listen to what one official said during a quiet briefing. "We're not replacing the mosque. We're fulfilling what was prophesied, layered upon history, not in opposition to it." This approach has led to global controversy, but surprisingly, it has also sparked unexpected dialogue with moderate Islamic scholars who believe a peaceful coexistence might now be possible. That possibility would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. According to Scripture, the building of the Third Temple is not just a historical or religious event. It is prophetic. In the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 27, the prophet writes, "He will confirm a covenant with many for 1/7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering." This implies that sacrifice and offerings must be re-established, something that can only happen once a temple exists again. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, Paul warns, "He will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God." These verses have long been interpreted by theologians to indicate that the Third Temple must be rebuilt before certain end-time events can occur. And now, that reality is beginning to take shape, stone by stone, beneath the very ground where Solomon once built the first temple, and where Herod expanded the second. Though dismissed by many mainstream archaeologists during his life, Ron Wyatt's claims have never truly disappeared. He famously insisted that the Ark of the Covenant was hidden in a chamber beneath the Temple Mount, protected by divine providence until the time was right. And now, new LiDAR scans and advanced geophysical mapping appear to be validating some of Wyatt's theories. Several chambers beneath the mount, sealed for over 2,000 years, have been rediscovered. One of them, according to anonymous sources connected to the Temple Institute, matches Wyatt's description almost exactly. This raises a dramatic question. Has the Ark already been found? No official statement has been made, but the timing of Netanyahu's descent, along with the sudden silence from key officials, has led many to believe that something sacred may already be in safe hands, awaiting its appointed time. For decades, the Temple Institute in Jerusalem has been preparing for this moment. They have already crafted the golden menorah, the table of showbread, the priestly garments, the crown for the high priest, and the altar of incense. These are not symbolic replicas. They are real, meticulously constructed according to biblical specifications. And now insiders report that some of these vessels are already being moved toward the subterranean temple space for ritual testing and placement. One eyewitness account described watching a covered cart being escorted through a sealed security gate near the Western Wall tunnels. Its contents? Unknown, but the timing was unmistakable. Unsurprisingly, the reactions have been fierce. The United Nations has called for an emergency session. The Vatican issued a veiled statement referencing respect for shared sacred space. The Islamic world, particularly leaders in Iran and Turkey, are furious, accusing Israel of desecrating a holy site. But what's fascinating is that some moderate voices are now calling for dialogue rather than war. A coalition of scholars from Saudi Arabia and Jordan recently released a statement saying, "If this temple is not built on top of our mosque, but rather beside it or beneath it, then perhaps it can fulfill prophecy without violating sanctity." It's a breathtaking turn, and perhaps a prophetic one. For thousands of years, Jews have prayed at the Western Wall, saying, "Next year in Jerusalem." Now, for the first time since 70 AD, Jerusalem isn't just a prayer, it's a construction site for prophecy. And for Christians around the world, the implications are enormous. The rebuilding of the temple is directly connected to the return of Christ, the rise of the Antichrist, and the final countdown of Daniel's 70th week. The clock is ticking. And now, the pieces are being placed. Netanyahu's silent walk beneath Al-Aqsa was not just political, it was prophetic. The underground construction is not just engineering, it's fulfillment. And the rediscovery of sacred artifacts is not coincidence, it is divine timing. Jesus once said in Matthew chapter 24, verse 34, "Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have happened." Could it be that this is that generation? Until next time, shalom, and may your eyes be open to the days we are living in.